What's up, family? Excuse me, going down a little bumpy road here. A little bit. So I'm doing my best to keep up with comments and requests and things like that. But I don't have any content manager, or I don't know what you call those. I don't know, people that monitor the channel. Manager, is that the right word? I don't know. I just put the content out and do my best to keep up with the commentary. And so apologies if I'm a little late getting to any of those requests. Oop. I'm gonna go underneath this piece of bamboo tree. It's like a car wash. Anyhow, so one of the requests, not my favorite subject, but one with which I am intimately familiar. And yeah, I'll just do my best to answer the viewer's question or make the presentation that the viewer requested and thereby answer any questions without any I wish I had like some maybe drawings or something, so you'll just have to bear with me. But now, first and foremost, before I explain the engineering or the design of any kind of anything, let alone a communications infrastructure, I mean anything, apply it across the board. Remember what we talked about? Scientific method, and then, you know, your observations have to be repeatable outside of a controlled study and across the more platforms that you see, or the more cases that you see the same results, then you know you're on to a pretty solid theory. So the first and foremost is, let me say this straight up, like, I'm gonna do my best to skate around the subject as I have to do. But okay, if you can imagine all the people John Lennon, Imagine. You don't know that song, check it out. Anyhow, little diversion here. Literally, I had to go down a side road and everything. Alright, I think I might be getting my way up to the Cata now. So, without a little nosedive into a pothole first. Good stuff. So, as with anything that you design, you know, or that is designed or built or in some other way manifested, first and foremost, what is the intention? What is the perspective? What is the objective of the inventor, let's say, or the one who built it? Because if you understand who built it, like, in one way you can tell that something's just NQR, like not quite right. Oof, I just had a butterfly almost come right into my window. Smash. Nature diversions, trying to drop little things in here to avoid detection. Categorization, synchronization, and identification by the algorithms. So what is the intention? So, well, I don't know. Do you know who built who or what built the current, what we call telecommunications infrastructure, which is the man-made version or a much more inferior version to the real technology that exists. So it would start out, well, first you'd need some. Well, first of all, let me just go back, and this is the top. The intention of this design of this caveman technology called telecommunications with the satellites and all of it. Yeah. The intention of those who put this infrastructure in place was for the purpose of domination and control and material gain. And my will, not thy will, Great Spirit. Living for oneself instead of the 7 future generations. Living outside of natural law. In defiance of the example that the Mother Nature sets for us. You don't see Mother Nature competing with herself. It's a symbiotic relationship. It's cooperative. It's regenerative. It's the divine, intelligent design. Why would we want to eschew that? Why would we want to remain in ignorance? Anyhow, because, it all boils down to your perspective. I'm just going to tell you how, based on the perspective and the objective of a top-down system of domination and control, an unnatural timeline. If you have been programmed with that, then, and I know I'm going to make a lot of people in the business really angry when I say this, but y'all are dealing with caveman technology. Satellites. So first of all, you got to have, I guess, if you're top down, right, you need to launch all this antiquated machinery, this whatever they're made out of. I can only speculate, but it's rubbish, basically. Launching rubbish into space so that they can draw out coordinates, and look how helpful it is for us to set our GPS maps and not have to ever worry about how. I can't even find a map, a paper map in publishing. I can't find only JPEG images online. Anyway, there's so many things that fall under the umbrella of this contemporary, we'll call it, telecommunication system. So you could say from the outer space, or from, as far as, say, is available to the human eye, or by way of a run-of-the-mill telescope, for hobbyists. One of those telescopes. That you could see, things in the sky. Satellites, perhaps. Then also, as far as the terrestrial-based infrastructure that interfaces with the so-called space-based infrastructure, would be, your cell phone towers, your wires, if anybody uses those anymore. And your actual devices, which are considered a mobile version of a terrestrial-based piece of the infrastructure. It means it's down here on the earth with you, but it's roaming around with you because it's mobile. A mobile phone. Man, my nose is super itchy today. So much pollen in the air, and the dog's eyes are all gunked up with pus and stuff. It's just some nasty stuff in the air. Anyhow. So, satellites. And then you've got the nodes the terrestrial based nodes to transmit, receive, and repeat signals, because they can only be carried so far before the signal has to be repeated and or picked up and repeated or resent, right, refreshed, so that it can travel the next distance that it needs to go. But not so much anymore, because now this mobile piece of the technology, of the caveman technology designed by those who seek domination and control of the electromagnetic frequencies of all things on the planet and in the sea and underground. Because that's what you do when you're a coward, when you're afraid, when you're living in, I gotta gobble everything up, like the monkey, right? If a monkey hoarded all the bananas while all the other members of his family starved, we would consider that monkey was displaying abnormal and homicidal and suicidal behavior. But when a human does it, well, they get their picture on the front of Time magazine or whatever, I don't know. So I'm digressing as is needed, because this is an extremely touchy subject. And anyhow, this infrastructure, from the satellites to the poles and the wires and the phones and the routers, they're all the routers. See, now the mobile technology also acts as a repeater, but in addition to God, my nose is so itchy. In addition to that, it's the frequency that's being used. A millimeter wave frequency. So unlike the long range communications that send out long waves, this is sending out a pulsed, like a microwave oven. This is exactly, let me say that again, because my dad had some inventions. And microwave oven was one of his interesting, what he found to be of interest, how to pop your food in a microwave and just press a button and 1 minute later it's done, or whatever, I don't know. But the millimeter wave that's used in the microwave oven is also used by our phones. And so if the millimeter wave used in the microwave oven cooks your food from the inside out, does this perhaps explain some of the Bravo Charlies? The gunking up of the blood in the arteries, and you see a lot of this in I don't know. I used to see this was all, oh shit, I forgot I had this little special 4-wheel drive thing going on. No wonder my car's like, holy crap. Sorry, diversions as required. And my hand's getting tired of holding this device. But the technology excites the molecules of the water contained inside whatever it is. It could be a TV dinner, it could be a microwave popcorn, it could be, I don't know, a human. Anyway, just something for you to ponder. But this is the fruit of the tree, and ye shall know the nature of the tree by the fruit that it bears. No? I hope everybody's become familiar with my two predominant animal spirits, dragon and a rabbit. I prefer the rabbit, but sometimes the dragon comes out and it can be a little harsh. But thank you for not shooting the messenger. I be cussing a lot too. Sorry. It's hard sometimes because I get passionate about it, especially when I just see stupid repeating and repeating and repeating. So that this present day contemporary top-down system of domination and control, telecommunications and infrastructure, it's basically how it works, and with all these mobile pieces. Of the terrestrial-based infrastructure. Well, that's how that works. Now, that's based on the perspective of someone who seeks domination and control over every single living thing on the planet that emits an electromagnetic frequency, meaning everything, everyone, every plant, every animal, everything. That's not my perspective. I have a hard enough time just controlling my own life. I don't need to worry about dominating and controlling nobody else. But anyhow, there are those that exist that feel like they do need to do that. That's their perspective, right? And my perspective it happens to be the complete opposite. I don't like to consider the slave-master relationship as an applicable theory or protocol in which to apply anything. A business, a telecommunications infrastructure, anything. It's just like if does anybody remember the Three Little Pigs and the wolf and this guy made his house out of this and this one made? If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for everything. So I prefer to have as much as I know how to have a stand, a firm, rooted in logic and in cooperation instead of competition, and in the knowingness of how things are, like the knowingness in my heart, the one that we all have in our heart, the knowingness. But I get it. There's a lot of materialist, reductionist types that I'm including myself. Look, I have a left brain. I'll be the first one to admit it. Sometimes I run numbers and do stuff like that, and that's very left brain, right? That's okay. But to get completely caught up in that, as it applies to, the sciences. Let's say the sciences that you would study at university. It's what's called reductionist. It tries to reduce everything down to a simple yes or no, on or off. No, just black and white, no gray in between. As you would do if you were science, trying to prove that science is, the way we should put our sights on and forget all things spiritual and all things esoteric and all things whatever. So, oof, potholes, sorry. Big noise, hey? Here comes another one. A tope. Sign, everywhere, sign. Do this, don't do that. Can't you see the sign? Can't you see the emperor has no clothes? Oh yeah. Do you have any 5-year-old logic to apply here? Because Bill's crazy as hell. So now going back to the materialist and the reductionist, the one that says everything is physical manifestation, that's it, that's all there is, and if it doesn't compute with numbers and it doesn't something I can touch, some material I can see or touch or whatever, right, then it doesn't exist, right? Yes, that is the theory in the science class, and it has been for quite some time. So even for those, materialist reductionist types, I'm sure he's not the only one to be onto this, but at least it was Nassim Haramein, the Persian scientist from Canada. I spent quite a lot of time in Hawaii as well, and he, he was more holistically intelligent, but he still had all the left brain stuff down. Like, he could sit there and draw out all those big, huge, long chalkboard after chalkboard full of mathematical equations, scientific mathematical equations. And he mapped it out for the materialists, for the reductionists, for the mathematicians. He mapped it out for them. Here's my theory, and I proved it up until now. It's just been from my intuition or my observations or whatever. But now here is mathematical evidence that it exists. It's not a theory. It's been proven. Where's his Nobel Peace Prize? Shh, don't say nothing about that. Because that's real technology, family. That's real technology. That is the unified field of consciousness that I believe could have been Nassim that coined that phrase. But I couldn't agree with that. I think that's an excellent phrase. A unified field of consciousness. A unified web of consciousness, of connection. That's real. That's encrypted, that's secure, and it doesn't cost you a monthly fee, and you don't need a friggin' device to interface. It's just called telepathy, and we all know how to do it, but look, I gotta go. This man's coming around my car. He wants some money. Dime un segundo, por favor. Dime un segundo. Dime un segundo. Okay. I gotta move a little bit because he's working on this roof. And he's being nice, telling me to move before I don't get no bricks dropped on my car. That was nice, huh? Whoa. It's all gravel over here, too. And I gotta run into the shop. Looky, I'm just gonna close it with that. It depends on what your perspective is, how you design and develop and build from there. But if you want to tap into the real technology is us. And it's called the unified field of consciousness. That's this other thing here called the World Wide Web, the one that's in place and it can only exist by way of reductionist, materialist, devices, and all that we've talked about. That's not real technology. Okay, so yeah. If you want to know a little bit more about this, you can look at my other video I did on my house, the Magic House. Intentional esoteric bioconstruction design. And because inside that house I put a 369 spiral. So anyhow, lots of stuff at our disposal. All the magic's within inside, and it's just how do we choose to perceive, right? Or rather, in this case, do we perceive that we need to rely upon an infrastructure that was designed and built by whomever? It doesn't matter. I'm not pointing fingers. I'm not getting mad at them or nothing like that. They played their role on the stage. I get it. But if I know that the infrastructure itself, as well as the intention behind it, how do I know the intention? Because I can see what it's doing. I can see it killing the bees. I can see birds falling out of the sky. I can see animals keeling over dead. You want a real pandemic, people? Keep playing with these phones. That's right, I said it. And I did say it 4 years ago, and YouTube erased that video in less than 24 hours. So looky here. Be careful. Be careful. Be careful with this thing we call telecommunications technology. So, caveman crap. Anyway, I hope that's been a blessing for you. Sorry if it's been a bit of a rant. I do have to make diversions and mix up the words, and you know how we do. We'll see. Okay, and I'll see you in the dream world until we speak again. Ciao for now. Bye.